thinking? You better take another look at the motherfucking chessboard. Beach by meal. It's black. It ain't no passes if it's action, he gon' pay his toll. It ain't no rapping, when they catch him, they gon' take his soul. This paper stacking, ain't no capping, I can't make it fold, but I can take his hoe. Make her cold, make her play the role till the Jaeger soul. She don't get to spin a nickel. These niggas dream of bricks, but they ain't shit until you flip them. Only difference is I put the thirsty bitch to swallow pickle. Keep your discipline and work the shit again until it triple. Real trapper.
Alright, so we ain't got no long intro today. You know what I'm saying? Just a real quick little think piece, real quick. Alright, so we all get up and look at our phones every day and, you know what I'm saying, get the latest on what's what and who's who and what's going where, right? So, you know, the hot topic this week is this Phuk The Streets movement, right? You know, people is speaking their piece on, you know, which way they going with it and how they feel about it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of, it'll turn into like a little polarizing type of conversation. You know what I'm saying? Now, the thing is, me personally, I can't say I agree with both sides or disagree with both sides. What I can say is, I think before anybody decide whether they agree or disagree, I think we need more clarity on what it is the niggas is actually talking about. Because at the end of the day, right, like, one thing for sure, two things for certain, we gonna give credit where credit is due. 21 been one of the most solid young niggas out of this last, you know, the young niggas that done grew up now, that's in their 30s and shit like that, right? And like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I ain't even really start listening to 21 music until I listened to a couple of his interviews, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, he one of the people, especially if you're talking about rappers, one of the few rappers, like when they speak, like, okay, let me hear what this nigga got to say, right? So now, with that being said, I think the mistake 21 made was not saying exactly what he was talking about when he say, "Fuck the streets," you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you know, perspective is everything, and certain people look at shit different. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, for some people, the streets is the people that's doing street shit, right? For some people, the streets is the people in general, right? Because the places where they allow, hint, hint, another conversation for another day, but the places that they allow a bunch of street shit to go on is always and forever still gonna be home to more people than just the ones doing street shit. Like, contrary to popular belief, any neighborhood you go to, even the ones that's, you know what I mean, the motherfucking Baghdad, Iraq type war zone, is really maybe 10% of the people at most that's making it like that. You know what I'm saying? The most people in the hood or in the streets, if you decide to call it that, is regular, you know, everyday people that just don't make a lot of money on their jobs. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I feel like before niggas judge it either way, niggas kind of need some clarity on when we saying, if we saying fuck the streets, like I think, you know, it's well intended. I think I get what he's saying, but I don't want to speak for no other man. So it's like, are we saying fuck the dope game? Are we saying, you know, fuck criminality? You know what I'm saying? Like, if we saying those things, it's hard to argue with that. Because, you know, anytime you saying fuck something that's negative or destructive, you know what I'm saying? Like, that should be commendable, but you gotta be clear about that, right? And then, even if you is clear about it, right, there's still a certain amount of righteous pushback that you gonna get. Why? Because, for one, right, if you're talking about these rappers in particular, right, y'all niggas got rich off of rapping about the streets, right? So first and foremost, like, until you clarify what a nigga was saying, and maybe even after, depending on, you know, what the final synopsis is, right, is that for the rappers that's saying fuck the streets, right, like, when niggas come back out, niggas gotta come back out not making music about no street shit. Cause you definitely can't, or at least not about no gangbanging, no selling dope. Like, all that shit gotta be over with if you want to publicly declare fuck the streets as a nigga who came up rapping about the streets, right? I give you a prime example of why motherfuckers gonna call it hypocrisy, right? So Phuk Shiesty, right? Phuk Shiesty just come home from doing all kind of wild crash out type shit, right? But see, from the outside looking in, motherfucker might not understand this, right? You can look at the situation with Phuk Shiesty and be like, damn, this nigga took himself out for 5 years behind some fucking J's and a couple pounds of smoke, right? But you gotta think about this shit in 4D. You really think Phuk Shiesty had anything to do with that robbery shit because he needed the money? Nah. Not to go in too much into what a nigga had going on, but from my instinct, you know what I'm saying? Phuk Shiesty was the good name that made the backdoor trick work. Pause. Right? It was the niggas that you seen in the video that was benefiting from that. So that kind of go to the point of why niggas is calling niggas hypocrites for saying fuck the streets. Because your whole thing was, what you was rapping about when you was coming up, you was rapping about all the shit that niggas was doing to get out the streets. You know what I mean? But it was street shit that niggas was doing to get out the streets, right? And when you got out the streets, right, your closest homeboys, they wasn't rappers. You feel what I'm saying? So you got some of them that's gonna come along with you and let you bird feed them. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of them niggas, if you come from a solid camp, them niggas is gonna be self-made. They gonna, hey, look, I'm happy for you, you know what I'm saying? Go get your bag, but I gotta do me, right? Which means they gonna still be where? In the streets, right? Now, your experiences with them in the streets, doing street shit, is what made you who you are, right? Beyond that is what gave you the content for the songs that you would eventually go on to make, that would eventually go on to make you rich, right? So, how dare you get to a point where you don't need the streets no more? And just because you don't need the streets no more, that was fuck the streets. I get it, the shit is destructive, it causes a cycle, blase spleef. But that's just as true now as it was when you still needed the streets and you were still rapping about them. You dig what I'm saying? And then it's like this. What make it even worse is if niggas want to bring Gunna into the situation, right? How the fuck can a nigga justify using Gunna or having Gunna a part of the conversation if we talking about Phuk the Streets, right? Like, check this out. So, these niggas, Thug, Lil Baby, whoever all been, you know what I'm saying, a part of what dude had going on throughout the course of his career, right? These niggas these niggas accepted Gunna making songs about a whole bunch of street shit that he wasn't built for, right? Then, when it all go bad, like street shit tend to do, he told, right? Now, niggas want to say fuck the streets after they done ostracized Gunna, excommunicated him when niggas knew from the jump he wasn't really cut like that. Do a little research, you see it already did Crime Stoppers commercials before all this razzle dazzle gangster shit he was rapping and all of that, right? He was a good artist, so okay, well, we need your sound, we're gonna let you use our street credibility. Now it's Phuk the Streets, right? To some niggas that pay attention on a different level, you know what that look like, bro? That look like, oh shit, niggas didn't quite drive 6ix9ine out like we thought. Oh shit, we thought Gunna's career was gonna die after his cooperation. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't happen. To niggas that pay attention on a different level, it almost looked like, well, shit. If the fans gonna still spend their money, you know what I'm saying, and they gonna still do all of that and support the way they've been supporting without no street credibility, then fuck it. We don't need street credibility no more. And that's cool. I'm all for rappers not needing street credibility in order to be successful as rappers. I'm 42 years old. I'm an 80s baby. I come from an era where, when I was a kid at least especially, every rapper wasn't no street nigga. Every rapper wasn't trying to be no street nigga. And labels wasn't pushing for every rapper to be no street nigga. And then that lead me to the other downfall of this movement until we get clarity on it. Because it's also like this, right? As the people, black people, the culture, aka the streets, at least especially when it comes to this entertainment shit, we dictate the culture. So now how do this look? We was in control of the culture for so many years. We let Whitey bring the bag in. Whitey bring the bag in. Mind you, he's still stealing most of it from us anyway, so he bring the bag in, taking most of it still back to Whiteville with him, right? Meantime, he changed the rules, because he who holds the gold makes the rules. That's just human nature across all generations, across the world, across all history, right? But we took his gold, we accepted his rules. We started making music that went from expressive about shit that was in the streets, which you need that because it's a part of our experience. We went from that to oversaturating the market with nothing but materialism and gangster shit. So much to the point where you got artists that's anything but gangster making records about being gangsters, right? Now that all of these kids then follow this influence, which is still on the parents. I ain't taking that away, because like, I hate when people say that Jeezy told you the trapper dad and he told his son to graduate and rap. Listen, if what Jeezy said to your son held more weight in your house than what you said to your son, that's your fault, not Jeezy's. So I ain't taking it all the way there. But the truth of the matter is, this shit is impactful. That's why music is what it is. Niggas wouldn't make the money that they make off music if it didn't have the type of impact that caused niggas to follow their influence. Especially niggas in the street who got less guidance than what they need. You know what I'm saying? What it actually require, right? So now, we let Whitey make the rules that polluted the culture to what it is. And again, I make a certain type of music, so I ain't never shitting on that. We talk about reality, and that's a part of reality, the shit that go on in the street. But it's a whole lot of other shit that don't get no light shined on it, because Whitey saw that this gangster shit sells. And if you want to know the truth, it's mainly them buying the gangster shit because they're entertained by it. It's exciting to them because it ain't attached to the trauma, right? But without getting into a sermon, you know what I mean, let me know how y'all feel. I'ma just leave with this, right? We need to know, 21, is it fuck the streets in general, or is it fuck criminality, fuck selling dope, fuck robbing, fuck going to jail, all this finessing shit that we, you know what I'm saying? I feel like niggas need to know that before they can adequately judge what he trying to say, because I genuinely don't feel like the man is on some, man, fuck all y'all. I think, really honestly, I think the nigga just tried to do something positive and maybe was a little tone deaf, if you want to use that terminology. All in all, I think the premise is good. You know what I'm saying? The delivery just kind of came across as bad. I don't want to just call a nigga a hypocrite for saying shit that at its base level we all can agree with it if he's saying what I think he mean. You know what I'm saying? But let me know how y'all feel, man. But for me, it'll never be fuck the streets, but it'll definitely be fuck the bullshit. Game time.
I just ain't checking on them, time to put the pressure on them. Ain't with the play, get out the way, else we stepping on them. And they done let the blessing turn into a lesson on them. That second guessing got them feeling like I'm flexing on them. I just ain't checking on them, time to put the pressure on them. We finna up the standard, time to raise the bar. It ain't gonna happen till you act like who you think you are. Your people need you, you a leader.